Hey guys, Kamina the coach here, and I really hate that my lamp is flickering. I hate that I always feel so pressed for time here lately, but since gosh, again, my journey has kind of shifted from being an international teacher and instructional designer abroad to now focusing more on the fact that I'm a transracial adoptee, transracial, biracial, late discovery adoptee in the United States. So, biracial, half white and black, adopted by white parents who didn't find out till I was 32. So yeah, it's a whole new journey in and of itself. So this video, I wanted to do real quick about some cautions about finding a therapist, and just a kind of a precursor kind of warning that finding a therapist is a bit like finding a mate. Hopefully not that hard, because I haven't found the mate yet. So I'd just like to share a little bit of my journey with you, because I feel like all the videos out there tell us that we need to be in therapy, and that's easier said than done for a lot of us that don't have insurance and don't have access to good health care, to good free health care or very good cheap health care. So some of us just got to kind of take what we can get. So my first experience was, this is March 3rd, so not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before, whatever that date is, somewhere in the middle of February, the weekend after Valentine's Day. Yeah, the very next weekend after Valentine's Day, I met with one of the experts in the field of adoption. And he was one of the very first that started speaking out on behalf of adoptees. He is an adoptee himself, and I'm not going to name his books, and I'm not going to name him. So somebody has filed a complaint against him on my behalf because our session went so badly. So obviously I'm a woman of color. He's an older white man. He made some kind of like Cuomo, the mayor in New York. He made some comments about my looks that he probably thought was funny or non-offensive, but it was like really offensive and totally inappropriate for a therapy session. And he made some race comments as well that he probably thought were funny. He also told me that he has a black girlfriend, which I don't know how he thought that was relevant. I guess he thought like that gives him some insight into being black. So I don't know. But it was really hard. It was a hard session. I was sweating the entire time. I felt very, very anxious. At no point was I comfortable. So, and his website said that he offered, so I wasn't really looking for therapy with him, because his website said he offered reunification assistance with no charge. So that was why I reached out to him. So it ended up being a therapy session, and that wasn't what I reached out to him for. Then at the end of the session, then he asked me for money. Or, well, he asked me how much I could afford to pay. I'm like, nothing. That's why I reached out to you. If I could afford to pay, I'm going to choose a woman of color who is also an adoptee. That's who is EMDR informed, that if I could afford to pay. So, I vented about that in a group for adoptees of color, adult adoptees of color, and one of the adoptees in the group is a therapist, and was like, we have to report this. We have to protect other adoptees. So there's that. So I used to be in the military. I was in the National Guard for almost 10 years. So I reached out to an old mentor of mine, and ta-da! So apparently the Guard here where I live at is offering lots of free assistance to former Guard members. And I'm not proud to have been a service member, but I am proud that they are recognizing that they owe some kind of assistance to these people. So I saw a therapist this weekend, this Saturday, so back-to-back Saturdays. I lost a lot of sleep, literally. I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I got maybe 3 hours of sleep before I went to go see this woman. Also, a white person, a white woman, who says that she's adoption informed. Who says that she's colorblind. Who basically called me racist and said that I need to work on that and that's a real problem. She also said that I can't identify as only one side, that I have to identify as both, or I'm never going to find full peace. So, she is EMDR certified, so that is why I will be sticking with her through this. Do I think we are a good fit otherwise if we were doing traditional talk therapy? No, I do not think we are a good fit. But with the EMDR, I want to try to make it through. So she seems a bit resistant to try to do the EMDR with me, but I'm going to press her with that because that's the reason why I want to keep working with her, because I feel like I have stuff that's stored that because she has EMDR certified, that she can help me work through. So what's the point? The point of telling, and then, so the best part of all of this is I got to join in a support group call, a Zoom support group call to with adult adoptees of color. Most of us also transracial. I think only one of us was not a transracial adoptee. And wow, it was so amazing to feel that community of people of color who really get it, who really understand where I'm coming from. So that therapist that I saw, there's a book. If I recommend the book, then you're going to know who the therapist was. But in his book, there was a lot of stuff I didn't like. But what he did say, and that I agree with, is that it's important to have the support of like-minded people. And there was a lot of heavy stuff that went on in the group, but I went away feeling so supported. I'm trying not to cry now because I'm getting ready to go to work. And I left this group meeting feeling very supported and wanting to share it with all of my other TRA transracial adoptee friends who also are feeling, kind of alienated and separate and apart. And even if you have love and support, if you don't have the love and support of people who understand, you just end up feeling kind of alienated. So thus far, honestly, I think the group has been more beneficial to me than anything else. So the point of this is to say that you don't have to be an adoptee to find a support group. If you've had any kind of trauma, I encourage you to find a support group. Alcohol and drugs, I hear AA is fabulous. Narcotics Anonymous. I'm an introvert, but I can't express enough how beneficial I feel like the group has been. And it's only once a month, and I'm sad for that, but I'm just thankful to have them at all. I'm really, really thankful. And, to share a little bit of what I'm going through and have them say to me, lean on us. And it's just so special. So if you're going through something, I would suggest finding a group, especially if you can't afford therapy. Groups are usually free. So find your group. And be careful in finding a therapist. Keep in mind that you should be interviewing your therapist. And just because it's a good therapist for somebody else doesn't mean that it's a good fit for you. And if you have had a lot of trauma, you may not feel very sure of yourself, and you may feel the need to ask other people. But if you're asking other people for advice about a therapist, it should be people who understand you and where you're coming from, and kind of understand your story. And that, I'm speaking from experience at this point. So, it's kind of mixed in the group. Some people think I should find somebody else, and some people are like, maybe just try to stick with her through and try the EMDR just to get through it, because this isn't, I don't want traditional talk therapy. I want the EMDR from her. So that's where I'm at on my journey. I'm still waiting on my DNA to come back from Ancestry. I've gotten DNA back from other companies, and there's not been much. So my search angel is still searching. I'm waiting for DNA to come back from Ancestry, and that's just where I am on that. And I'm actually really thankful that it's kind of stalled out at this point, because I really want to do some more work on myself before I find my first family. So that's where I'm at this point. Kamina the coach, sending you love, light, peace, and joy. I will see you next time. I'm out.